The bed behind me is not just any regular bed. It is my entire 450 plus bottle fragrance collection laid out in all of its glory. It may just seem like I'm trying to flex on you, but the reason I told you that is because out of all of these fragrance bottles, about 90% of them I will never wear again. That remaining 10% of my collection are my S tier picks, meaning they're the ones I actually wear because I can confidently say they're a straight 10 out of 10. So I'm going to be ungatekeeping 12 of my S tier fragrances today because I want you to be smelling the very best. And every single budget will be covered in this video, meaning no matter how much money you have, you'll be smelling better than everybody else. For everybody on a budget watching, don't worry, I told you at the beginning of this video, I got your back, and I'm going to stay true to my word by recommending you Aether Extrait by French Avenue. The reality is, there are a lot of S tier budget picks out there, but there are also a lot of really bad F tier budget fragrances. It seems like every company in the Middle East is making a whole lot of these cheap inspired by fragrances, and it's really hard to know which ones are good and which ones are just not worth the hype at all. But the great news is Aether Extrait is one of those few that are worth the hype. And at first, trust me, I was super skeptical. When I heard it was inspired by Greenlee, I was even more scared because Greenlee is a tough fragrance to get the smell right, but they did a really solid job. It kind of takes away some of the green apple and it becomes more of like a vanilla-y, just general creamy citrus scent, but you still do get a bit of that green apple. It's just definitely more of a twist rather than a one-to-one of the original scent. But I will say it's still close enough to Greenlee where if you smelled this before but you can't afford this, if you blind bought Aether Extrait, I would be shocked if you were disappointed by how it smelled. Performance of this isn't quite as good as the real Greenlee, but when you're comparing a $350 fragrance to like a $40 or $50 fragrance, that's kind of expected. With Aether Extrait, I get about 5 to 6 hours longevity with moderate projection. You get a pressurized atomizer. It's just great value for money. I like the creaminess of this fragrance, but if I could only choose one for life, I still would pick the real Greenlee. But for how good value this is, for how cheap it is, it deserves the S tier tick of approval. Moving on to a fragrance that is a little bit higher up in the price point at that designer category is 1 Million Lucky. Before you go, wait, Finn, I thought that fragrance was discontinued. I did too, but I went to the US last week in Hawaii. I went to 3 Sephoras and all 3 of them stocked 1 Million Lucky at a normal price. If you can find 1 Million Lucky at all Sephoras in the United States, I don't know how it could be a discontinued fragrance. That just doesn't make sense to me. Here in Australia, it's a bit harder to find, but on Facebook, people are selling their used bottles of this for still around that $100 mark. I would still say this is a pretty affordable fragrance for it being discontinued. If it even is discontinued at this point, I don't know. Discontinued or not, they should never discontinue this because it smells so unbelievably good. I have this as my 4th favorite designer fragrance, only behind Stronger With You Intensely, Coral Fantasy by Valentino, not Born in Roma, and Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill. But 4th place, when I have so many fragrances, is pretty damn freaking good. It has a really unique note breakdown of honey, plum, vanilla. To me, it smells like honeyed popcorn. I don't know if you guys have ever eaten honey caramel popcorn, but it smells like that. It is so delicious. And it's just one of those really addictive fragrances where you just want to keep sniffing whatever this has been sprayed on. Perfect for the fall and winter time, but it's not a super heavy on your skin fragrance. It's not really like thick or rich or anything like that. So I do think you could use this all year round, except maybe in like the hottest summer days, but it's still quite fresh. Again, depending on where you live, you just might not be able to find this for a reasonable price. But if you live in the US where you have Sephora's and you can pick this up, get it while you still can, because in my books, it is a 10 out of 10 designer fragrance and without a doubt, an S tier pick. But let's say you have a bit more money to spend and you're really looking for like a niche signature scent. Well, I have just the one for you. This is Sugar Leather by Yun Nue Nomad. I'm so bad at pronouncing the perfume house, but the smell, it smells like the name, Sugar Leather. And before you freak out because you hate leather just like I thought I did, wait till you smell this, because leather haters, will probably not hate leather anymore after trying this fragrance. So this is around that $250 to $300 mark, so definitely in that niche price range. And to me, it's like Angel Share and Parfums de Marly Eau Jaune if they made love and had a baby. But the kid that came out inherited mostly Eau Jaune genetics. When you first spray it on, it is really, really close to Eau Jaune. So you get a whole ton of cinnamon. You also get caramel in the note breakdown. It's a full-blown gourmand that is perfectly unisex, in my opinion. But then as it dries down, the leather becomes much more prominent, which kind of makes it more masculine and grown-up smelling. Between this and Eau Jaune, honestly, I love owning both. I still don't think it's redundant to own both, because when I just want to smell sweet and sexy, I'll wear Eau Jaune. But when I kind of want to smell more like a motorbike bad boy vibe, then I would wear Sugar Leather. Fantastic longevity, 7 to 8 hours with soft to moderate projection. It's a fantastic, signature scent worthy niche fragrance. You can thank me later for ungatekeeping this. This is your reminder that if you're enjoying the video and you watch my channel consistently, it would mean a ton for you to hit that subscribe button. It is completely free, but it helps me out a ton. Thank you. I want to go back to kind of that cheaper or more mid-range price point when it comes to fragrances and put you guys on to Aromatics Plantain Blanc. This is again, I think, it actually is. It is a French Avenue fragrance. Aromatics collaborated with French Avenue, but Aromatics is the main thing on the bottle, so I kind of forget that it's a French Avenue fragrance too. But if you didn't know, this is inspired by Xerjoff's Torino 21. So essentially imagine really realistic citrusy, minty leaves crushed and put into a perfume bottle. That's what this smells like. I actually had the honor of not working on this fragrance with Aromatics, or Neeb is his real name, but he basically showed me samples of it before he officially released it, and it is so close to Torino 21, but when you spray it on, one thing you'll notice, it is just so oily. I don't know if you can see that because I'm so pale, but like, yeah, I don't even know the concentration. It's got to be an extrait or something, at least 25-30% oil. Great longevity, pretty good projection for such a fresh fragrance. If you like those really ultra realistic citrus fragrances that aren't really like synthetic or fruity, check this one out. Personally, I just love the real Torino 21 too much. I love Xerjoff as a brand too much to completely replace it with this fragrance. So even if I run out of the real Torino 21, I'll still probably rebuy it. But I will admit, this is a solid, cheaper alternative. Another touch that I really like is for the price, I think it's around 60 USD or 90 Australian. It kind of has like this concrete marble bottle finish. It probably is just like a high quality, heavy plastic, but on a shelf or something, or even just feeling it, most people that wouldn't know any better would assume that this is like some crazy $200 cologne, I think, just based off how it looks. So far in this video, I feel like I've given you guys a whole bunch of really nice 10 out of 10 mass appealing fragrances. And there's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't want to get compliments? Who doesn't want to wear a scent that, you know, most people around you will love the smell of? But what if you want something with a little bit more spiciness, a little bit more controversy in your life? The fragrance for you is Nishani Fan Your Flames. This is a scent where if I showed 100 people that watched this video, 50 of them would say they love it, and the other 50 would be like, get that tester strip or that wrist away from my nose. That is because Nishani did something crazy with this fragrance. They took the note of coconut, but instead of going the more tropical, fresh, summery route with coconut like every other normal brand does, they took coconut and added rum, tobacco, and vanilla. They're fucking crazy. The way I describe Fan Your Flames is an angry, enraged coconut, because the coconut is there. It's very prominent, but it's kind of surrounded with all these dark, mysterious, and rugged notes. It's such a weird fragrance. It took me 2 years to like it enough to buy a bottle, but now it's a 10 out of 10 for me. And I feel like it's a grower. It's not a shower. Just like something else down there. I'm not telling you to blind buy this. That would be idiotic. Only do that if you are a crazy person. But at the very least, buy a sample because, hey, maybe you'll end up loving it just as much as I do now. The performance is beastly. This does get me compliments. I love wearing this when the weather is cold outside. But again, it's not going to be for everyone. But I still think you should at least try it. Don't worry, for all you guys on a budget watching, I haven't forgotten about you just yet. Rayhan Pacific Aura. In my opinion, the best dupe of Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill currently on the market. I have a few dupes of Pacific Chill in my collection, and honestly, all the ones I do have are fantastic, but I would say for the majority of people, Pacific Aura is the safest one to blind buy. The opening, at least for the first 1 to 2 hours, is damn near identical. You will find in the dry down, it becomes much more musky, and it's less kind of fruity and light on the skin. If I had to guess, it's because the quality of... Oh, just sprayed my hand. Well, at least my hand smells good now. Ugh. Like hand sanitizer. If I had to guess, it's because the quality of the citrus ingredients used is going to be obviously lower in Pacific Aura versus the real Pacific Chill. But for the price of around $45, it does a really good job. Performance as well isn't quite as good as the OG. I find the projection is moderate to even quite strong, but longevity you're only going to get around 5 to 6 hours. I also really like how they've kind of upgraded the bottle design. They've added this engraving on the back. You get a magnetic cap now, a pressurized atomizer. I think in terms of pretty much everything, unless you're looking for a 1-to-1 of Pacific Chill, you'll be very happy with this fragrance. Definitely deserving of an S tier ranking. Another S tier cheapie that I really do think is fantastic is a brand new release from COLOGNE, and it's called Shiyaaka Shadow. And yeah, this is one of the most badass freaking bottles I've seen in a long time. It's spiky. It just looks like something Batman would have in his Batcave if he would even wear cologne. It's not what Batman would wear while Batman is fighting, it's what Bruce Wayne would wear once he's finished fighting. So this is inspired by Bad Boy Cobalt, which if you don't know, it's like a really masculine blue fragrance that has a unique plum note, and it's kind of spicy. It's not just like your typical Aqua de Jo or Versace Dylan Blue. I would say Cobalt has a lot more character to it, and this takes Cobalt but adds in like a tonka, creamy, vanilla-y type of thing. It smells like Cobalt Elixir, which actually, funny story, I just bought. It smells like this. This is not the original Bad Boy Cobalt, this is Cobalt Elixir. And now that I'm just thinking about it while I'm telling you about this to you, I think this is actually a dupe of the Elixir version, not the original Cobalt. Wow, that was a great discovery. If you like Bad Boy Cobalt, if you like Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir, check out Shiyaaka Shadow. I think it's around that $50 mark. If you haven't smelled Cobalt before, this might be a risky blind buy because I wouldn't say it's like your typical safe blue fragrance. I also forgot to mention the performance is fucking beastly. 10 hours longevity. 10 hours. A fragrance you may have heard me talk about a lot now is Akro Awake. It smells like the name, a baked lemon meringue pie. But the Akro fragrance I recently picked up, Akro Awake. Basically, I just got a fragrance called Akro Awake, and it is so good, it may even be better than Akro Bake, the one that I've been talking about a lot recently. There's a mouthful of words there. This fragrance is called Awake for a reason, because it wakes you up when you smell it. It is a very realistic black coffee fragrance. The notes literally are just coffee, cardamom, leather, and vetiver. But if you want a sweet black coffee scent, one that like is ultra realistic to coffee, there is nothing better out there than this. This is kind of like in that low to mid tier niche pricing around that 200 Australian dollar mark. It's only going to be worth it if you love coffee as much as I do. I drink a stupid amount of coffee. I love the smell. I can't get enough of coffee. So me and this fragrance, we get along extremely well. As you may or probably know by now, Stronger With You Intensely is my Pookie Bear. It is my literal everything. I glaze it more than a 12-pack of Krispy Kreme donuts. But honestly, I've been wearing this even more than Intensely recently, and that is Stronger With You Tobacco. This was a Middle Eastern exclusive, but I'm pretty sure it's worldwide now. It is quite similar to the Intensely version, but it basically smells like if Intensely was wearing a black leather jacket on a motorbike, popping wheelies while blasting like rap music annoyingly loud out of his motorbike. I just do think it's sexier. It has more of like a bad boy quality to it. Strong With You Intensely is definitely more comfy and cozy. It's what I would wear, you know, tucked up at the Christmas tree, unboxing presents at Christmas time. But if I wanted to go out, if I was a single man, which hopefully never, you know, me and my girlfriend have been together for a while now, hopefully never, but if I ever was single again, I would be pulling this one out over intensely. Try both if you can. Try tobacco, try intensely. If you prefer more niche and complex scents, you'll probably like tobacco more. But if you want something to crave your sweet tooth, you just want pure compliments, probably get the intensely version. The bottom line is though, both are fantastic. I just wanted to shine some more light on this version because I think it is criminally underrated. The next two fragrances is actually going to be a 2-for-1 because both of these do deserve the S tier, but I think one deserves it slightly more than the other. Both of these are from Kilian, and yes, both of these will break the bank account. The first one that I think still does deserve the S tier, it's still a 10 out of 10, but it's just not quite as good, is the OG Angel Share. The fragrance that, yes, has been duped to death by now, and I do think some of the dupes out there, like Lattafa Kumra, you could argue smell even better than this scent DNA. This does just smell extremely expensive. I've had my dad smell this before, and as soon as I sprayed it, his first question was like, how much does that cost? Because it's just boozy, high quality liquor, sweet, spicy. It just screams wealth in a bottle. I still wear it to this day. Even though I do have a lot of great dupes of it, I love the original. It's a 10 out of 10. However, last week when I was in Hawaii visiting on a family holiday, I picked up Kilian's Apple Brandy from Sephora. I paid full retail price for this, but honestly, I have zero regrets. It still has the boozy aspect that Angel Share does, as you can tell by the bottle. They're based off different liquors, but this is a candied green apple, but made kind of dark and mysterious with that booziness. I think this just smells more unique than Angel Share. Unfortunately, it doesn't last quite as long. I only get about 5 to 6 hours of longevity, but sometimes the smell is just too good sometimes. Yeah, it's already my brother's favorite fragrance in my entire collection. Literally, we were talking about this morning, and he said Apple Brandy might be my new all-time favorite. And I wouldn't go as far to say that for me, but it's already in my top 15 all time, and I only got it last week. When you have this many fragrances, having something you just got go straight into the top 15, it has to be a 10 out of 10. The final S tier fragrance that I will be telling you guys about in this video is one that hopefully you have heard of by now because it is getting quite a lot of hype, but honestly, it completely deserves it. It is Valentino's Coral Fantasy. It's the perfect designer fragrance if you're looking for a daily signature scent to not smell like everybody else. You get red apple, you get tobacco. I get some kind of vanilla. Vanilla's not a listed note, but with all of Valentino fragrances, I swear I get like a creamy vanilla undertone. Well above average performance, especially because I do think it's an EDT fragrance. Yeah, it's an EDT fragrance, but it lasts most of the day with, yeah, pretty damn strong projection. You only need to use 4 or 5 sprays of this. Valentino as a whole is one of my all-time favorite designer fragrance brands, but Coral Fantasy is by far my #1 now. It used to be Green Extravaganza. The new Extra Dose is fantastic, especially if you like a more loud and clubbing scent, but I think it's just an everyday wear for all seasons. Coral Fantasy is really hard to beat. That is going to wrap it up on ungatekeeping 12 S tier fragrances out of my 450 plus bottle collection. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.